Human Rights Watch expresses satisfaction over framing charge against Oustad Sheikh Hasina and 28 others for enforced disappearances, making captive and torture. Chief Advisor Professor Mahmoud Yunus thanks Turkish President for release and repatriation of Shahid al-Alam from Israel. Electronic government procurement (EGP) is must for all government procurement. Experts term it a significant development. The divisional selection of young talent hunts of BTV signature program Notun Kuri ends tomorrow. Election is the only and first way to return to democracy. Nation can't go back to democracy until a free and fair election held. Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corina Machado wins Nobel Peace Prize this year. Israeli cabinet approves ceasefire in the parliament, aggression to be stopped in Gaza in 24 hours, to be released Palestinians and Israeli peace rally in Gaza. And in Cricket Women's World Cup, Bangladesh is chasing victory target of 228 runs set by New Zealand. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10 p.m. on BTV News. I'm Urbi Islam with you today. You just heard the headlines. Now, moving on to the details. Human Rights Watch has expressed satisfaction over the formal filing of charges in court against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 28 others on allegations of enforced disappearances, secret detentions and torture, soon after the International Crimes Tribunal issued arrest warrants against the accused. The New York-based human rights organization said in a report on Thursday that Bangladesh has taken a step forward on the path to justice. During the nearly 16-year rule of the fascist Army League, human rights organizations repeatedly accused the Hasina government of amputations, pulling out nails, and electric shocks on rotating chairs as part of the torture inflicted on those who were forcibly disappeared for dissenting views. However, the Hasina regime consistently denied such allegations. After the historic mass uprising on August 5th, the interim government formed a commission on enforced disappearances which uncovered horrifying accounts. The investigation agency of the International Crimes Tribunal also included these gruesome details in its report. Recently, a formal charge was submitted to the International Crimes Tribunal for trial, naming Sheikh Hasina and 28 others as accused, following which the court issued arrest warrants. In a report written by Meenakshi Ganguly, HRW's Deputy Director for Asia, stated that authoritarian tendencies in Bangladesh intensified during Sheikh Hasina's tenure from 2009 to 2024. One of the key members of her government was Ataturkmen Khan. The report also mentioned that in response to HRW's previous findings on extrajudicial killings, torture and suppression of free speech, the then Army League government generally denied the allegations or offered false assurances. The government, with active cooperation from Turkey, has intensified efforts to secure the release of Bangladeshi journalist Shahid al-Alam, who is currently detained in an Israeli prison. According to reports received from Ankara, Turkish authorities have expressed optimism about the possibility of bringing Alam to Turkey by special flight later today, although they have yet to provide full confirmation of the development. Bangladesh ambassador to Turkey Amanul Haq confirmed the information late Thursday night, noting that the Turkish government has been extending full diplomatic support to facilitate Alam's release. Following Alam's unlawful detention by Israeli authorities, the Bangladesh embassies in Jordan, Egypt and Turkey were instructed to remain in close contact with their respective foreign ministries to pursue urgent diplomatic measures for his early release. From now on, the use of electronic government procurement (EGP) has been made mandatory for all types of government purchases. Besides, the existing 10% price limit for internal government purchases has been abolished. The regulation also mandates the disclosure of information on the actual beneficiaries of awarded contracts. In addition, it requires the preparation of a strategic plan for every government procurement. The new regulation was published as a gazette and came into effect on 28th of September this year by the Bangladesh Public Procurement Authority. Analysts have termed the new regulation in public procurement as a significant step forward. It will ensure competition and fairness in the government procurement process, they added. Analysts, however, stress that strong political will is essential to curb corruption alongside digitalization. Notun Kuri, the popular talent hunt program of Bangladesh Television, is now in its divisional selection phase after the completion of the first round. This phase will continue until October 11. From the divisional selection, a total of 960 contestants will qualify to participate in the final round. On the seventh day of the divisional selection, the television center became lively from early morning with the presence of enthusiastic participants, children, teenagers and their guardians. Launched in 1976, Notun Kuri was the first reality-style talent hunt program in the Indian subcontinent, broadcast on Bangladesh Television. Many renowned artists have emerged from this platform. After a long hiatus, Notun Kuri has returned once again with its original name and theme song continuing its legacy of discovering new talents. Every year, about 13,000 women in Bangladesh are newly diagnosed with breast cancer and 6,000 of them die from the disease. Due to a lack of awareness and regular screening, breast cancer is often detected at a late stage, which is why the mortality rate remains high. To raise awareness on these issues, Breast Cancer Awareness Day 2025 was observed today. This year's theme is Be Our, Get Screened, Save Lives. In the morning, a symbolic pink rally was brought out from the National Press Club in Dhaka to mark the day. Officials and representatives from various voluntary organizations took part in the rally. Later, at a roundtable discussion, speakers discussed ways to increase public awareness about breast cancer. The Bangladesh Cancer Awareness Forum has also announced a pink rally in Rajshahi to be held on October 30 and 31. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Saida Rizwana Hassan has said, along with claiming rights, a livable modern state must be built responsibly for the new generation. She said this at the closing program of World Postal Day 2025 at Agargaon Dak Bhavan in the capital today. The speakers informed that digital address management program will be introduced. Work is on for updating Postal Department law, they said, adding that modern postal service will be ensured by eliminating inequality. Secretary, Posts and Telecommunication Division, Abdul Nasir Khan, presided over the program. Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor on Post, Telecommunications and Information Technology, Faiz Ahmed Taib, and Secretary of Information and Communication Technology Division, Shish Haidar Chaudhary, spoke on the occasion. World Egg Day 2025 is being observed all over the world, including Bangladesh, with the theme Eggs Have Protein, Eat One Every Day. Marking the occasion, World Poultry Science Association Bangladesh today organized a discussion in the capital. Fisheries and Livestock Advisor Farid Akhtar was present as the chief guest, while Mohammad Abu Sufyan, Director General of the Department of Livestock Services, presided over the discussion. Farid Akhtar emphasized the need to take strict measures against unscrupulous traders to keep egg prices under control. She further said that to ensure children's nutritional needs, eggs should be included alongside milk in the school feeding program. Dr. Shakila Farooq, Director General of the Livestock Research Institute, and Moshir Rahman, former President of the World Poultry Science Association Bangladesh, among others, spoke at the event. The only and foremost path to returning to democracy is elections, said BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, adding that democracy cannot be restored until a free and fair election is held. He made this remark today at a memorial event organized at the Institution of Engineers Bangladesh (IEB) in the capital. marking the 35th martyrdom anniversary of Nasir-ud-Din Jihad, a martyr of the anti-autocracy movement of the 1990s. The event was presided over by BNP chairperson's advisor Amanullah Aman, while Vice Chairman Shamsuzzaman Dudu, Asaduzzaman Ripon and Joint Secretary General Khairul Kobir Kokon, among others, central BNP leaders also spoke. The BNP Secretary General further said that the BNP was born through reform and therefore the party is never against reform. Founding anniversary rally of Islami Shramik Andolon Bangladesh was held, demanding reform, justice and PR and to establish labor-friendly state. Amir of Islami Andolon Bangladesh Mufti Syed Muhammad Rizal Karim was the chief guest at the program held at Sharar Dildan in the capital today. Speaking on the occasion, Syed Muhammad Rizal Karim said to achieve global peace and salvation in the world hereafter, the people of the country must remain vigilant in establishing a prosperous Islamic welfare state through the implementation of teaching of Islam in Bangladesh. Maulana Khalilur Rahman presided over the rally. Senior Naib Amir of Islami Andolon Bangladesh, Syed Muhammad Faizul Karim, Secretary General Hafiz Maulana Yunus Ahmed, President Member Ashraf Ali and leaders of front organization of the party spoke on the occasion. Now, international news. Israel has approved the first phase of a Gaza deal, which will lead to a ceasefire and the release of hostages, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office says. The Israeli government ratification of the peace plan, which was confirmed in the early hours of Friday morning, paves the way for fighting in Gaza to stop within 24 hours. The Israeli military will withdraw to a line that will leave it in control of about 53% of Gaza, while Hamas must release 20 living hostages within 72 hours. Here's what else will happen in the coming days. Israel will release about 250 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails and 1,700 detainees from Gaza, a Palestinian source tells the BBC. Khalil al-Hayya, the head of Hamas negotiating team, said the group has received guarantees from the US and mediators that an agreement on a first phase of the ceasefire agreement means the war in Gaza has ended completely. Hundreds of aid lorries will also carry food, medicine and fuel to Gaza's 2 million people, most of whom have been displaced, the UN says. US officials say it will move up to 200 troops to coordinate a multinational force that will monitor the ceasefire. Israel's attack on Gaza has killed at least 67,194 people and wounded 1,69,890 since October 2023. A magnitude 7.4 earthquake of the southern Philippines has killed at least 2 people, damaged a hospital and schools, knocked out power and prompted evacuations of coastal areas nearby due to an initially feared tsunami. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has said the tsunami threat has now passed. Small waves were detected on the Indonesian and Philippine coasts on Friday after the earthquake. The Philippines and some regions of Indonesia had issued a tsunami warning, urging coastal communities to evacuate after the quake struck offshore in the southern Philippines. The Tsunami Center in Honolulu, Hawaii, said that while the threat had passed about 2 hours after the quake, small sea fluctuations may continue. Damage from the earthquake was still being assessed. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., facing his latest natural disaster after a recent earthquake killed more than 70 people and back-to-back storms, said that the Philippine government was assessing the situation on the ground and ensuring that everyone is safe. The winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize is Venezuelan democracy campaigner Maria Corina Machado. Machado, the opposition leader in Venezuela, has largely been in hiding since last year's presidential elections. She recognized for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. Machado is one of the most extraordinary examples of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times, the Nobel Committee's chairman says. Venezuela's opposition has for many years been notoriously divided and riven by infighting. Leaders of different factions have often spent more time attacking each other's strategies than attacking Nicolas Maduro, the man they are seeking to depose from power. But Maria Corina Machado managed to unite those often bickering factions behind her ahead of last year's presidential election. Afghan Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi has arrived in India for a week of talks, a visit which had been previously unimaginable. It is the Taliban's highest-level visit to the country since seizing power in 2021. Muttaqi is due to discuss diplomatic, trade and economic ties with India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and other officials during an 8-day stay. The visit is being seen as a ramping up of India's Afghan policy. Arch-rival Pakistan, which historically had close ties with the Taliban, will be watching closely. Muttaqi, who was granted a temporary exemption from UN sanction allowing him to travel, flew into Delhi from Russia, the only country so far to fully recognize the Taliban government. Now, news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at many places over Dhaka, Mymensingh, Khulna, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions and at 1 or 2 places over Rangpur and Rajshahi division. Besides, moderately heavy to heavy falls is likely to occur at places over the country. Night temperature may remain nearly unchanged and day temperature may fall slightly over the country. Today, country's highest temperature was recorded 35 degrees Celsius in Feni. Capital Dhaka's highest temperature was 31.5 degrees Celsius. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh lost to New Zealand women's team by 100 runs in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup in Guwahati, chasing the victory target of 228 runs. Bangladesh were all out on 127 runs, 39 overs for 5 balls. Fahima Khatun scored 34 runs for the team. Earlier, New Zealand women's team batted first and scored 227 runs for 9 in their stipulated 50 overs. Bangladesh will face Afghanistan in the second ODI of the 3-match series tomorrow evening in Abu Dhabi. The match will start at 6 p.m. Bangladesh Standard Time at Sheikh Zayed Stadium. Earlier, Bangladesh lost to Afghanistan by 5 wickets in the first ODI and trailing the series by 1-0. Bangladesh has played 20 matches against Afghanistan, winning 11 of them. Afghanistan has won 9 matches. To end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Human Rights Watch expresses satisfaction over framing charge against Asad Sheikh Hasina and 28 others for enforced disappearances, making captive and torture. Chief Advisor Professor Mahmoud Yunus thanks Turkish President for release and repatriation of Shoaib al-Alam from Israel. Electronic government procurement (EGPs) must for all government procurement. Experts termed it a significant development. The divisional selection of young talent hunts of BTV signature program Notun Kuri ends tomorrow. Election is the only and first way to return to democracy. Nation can't go back to democracy until a free and fair election held. Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corina Machado wins Nobel Peace Prize this year. Israeli cabinet approves ceasefire in the parliament, aggression to be stopped in Gaza in 24 hours, to be released Palestinians and Israeli peace rally in Gaza. And in Women's ODI World Cup, New Zealand women team won by 11 runs against Bangladesh. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us and we invite you to watch 11 p.m. Bangla News. Until then, Allah Hafiz.